What's going on, everybody? So this is going to be a first ever for this channel. I've never done a review video before, but I just felt it was necessary because I'm so excited that I finally have gotten my first ever stack. That is the Peavey 6505 mini head with its 2x12 Peavey cabinet. I'm not going to go too in-depth in this review video. If you're looking for specifically all of its features and volume, like the watt differences, I'm not going to be covering that, so I'd recommend watching another review on this model. There's plenty on YouTube. But what I am going to be going over is its tone versatility, my personal story on what made me decide to buy this cabinet, because maybe you're watching this video because you're trying to figure out what you want your first guitar stack to be. So I'll give you some tips on that. And without further ado, let's just get into it. So what I really like about this amp is prior to buying, I wanted to get an amp that would give me good tones for grunge, punk rock, and classic rock. Out of the three, classic rock seems to be its weakest suit. If you own this amp head and you know of a good EQ and a good preset to get a classic rock tone or close to, please leave that in the comments because that would be helpful. But we're going to start things off with just everything off. So just your rhythm, and I'll just keep everything at 5, so your basic 12 o'clock EQ. That riff there would definitely be more punk rock. That, if you don't know, is by a classic punk rock band called The Kinks. So I definitely would want to raise the post gain for that. It definitely gets the job done. A lot of punk rock uses palm mutes. I've personally used palm mutes as some of my originals. Definitely gets the job done. But what I most love about this amp, actually, I was going to say what I most love about this amp is the lead, but before I get to that, I'm going to show you what the bright switch sounds like. And this is probably the cleanest you're going to get, but one of the things I've noticed about this amp is that you can't push the post gain too much, because then it starts getting more distorted. Jeez, even that's distorted. So I'm going to turn that like to 1. And we'll turn that back to 5. So now, bringing that up to a little over halfway. It's still considered clean, but you can tell it has that oomph for it, and this amp is just screaming to distort more, which is why I'm going to bring us over to the lead, and that's what this amp is mostly meant for. Going to tune that drop D, and just the tones, man. Definitely exactly what I was looking for in terms of grunge and nu metal. worthy, metal worthy. We're going to turn the post gain up a bit, along with the resonance. Same riff over again. Brings it out more. You can hear a lot more of the actual notes. I think the higher you bring the resonance and the presence especially. The one thing that I don't necessarily like about this amp is the cutoff of distortion. I can see why a lot of people will generally buy a distortion pedal or some kind of boost to go along with it, because playing singular notes, already gone. You just lost it right there. But if you're playing like a solo, like notes rather quickly, I guess that doesn't come into play too much. Turn the gain down. I'm going to raise the treble. We'll put a little verb on there. So that may be something I'll invest in the future. But going back to more, getting the post gain up there, the grunge tones that I was after. I'll play this riff. I find it genre specific. For an artist like Papa Roach, that was Lifeline by Papa Roach, this is so close to the actual tones that they use. It's just phenomenal. And speaking of Papa Roach, I am doing my first ever cover on the channel with this amp. I'm doing Help by Papa Roach, so there's going to be a little box at the end of this video that you can click on. Also link in the description. So looking at the back here, I have the settings, like I said, everything in this video I'm playing at 1 watt, 16 ohms to match the cabinet. And in the cover of Help by Papa Roach that I'm uploading, that I hope you'll watch after this video, I did originally start recording it with the mic simulated direct interface. I was a big fan of this feature, but the sound for me just ended up kind of sounding squashed, and it didn't really have the liveliness of playing in a room. So what I ended up doing in the recording for that was just miking up the cabinet and mixing it a little bit from the live sound from in the room. The reason why, like I said before, I'm not going too in-depth in this video is because this amp is still a learning curve for me. So if you're someone that has used this feature and recorded into your DAW and it sounded really good, again, leave in the comments, tell me about your experience, because I want to learn more and as much about this amp as possible. But a little more about how I came to buying this amp. I did have a budget, and what I actually ended up getting was the cabinet for this head, but I'm going to tilt the camera down here. I got it not from a store, but from a guy off Kijiji. I know some people are sketched out of buying music equipment not directly from a store, but I saved honestly quite a few hundreds from buying from this guy. And the wait time, a lot of stores in my local area don't even have it in stock, and told me that you can buy now, but it could be well over a year that you get the cabinet, and it was just ridiculous. But one of the things I really liked what this guy did, he installed a ribbon at the back, and he has all the nails in a little bag, and this is going to, let me actually turn off the amp head for a second. This guy installed like a ribbon little system here, and it just makes it so much faster to take the back open and play open back. Prior to, I've been using solid state amps, so having an open back was again another first for me. I didn't even know what exactly that would sound like, but I'm going to demonstrate that in a second. But my case in point is that if you have a budget, don't feel like you have to buy from a music store, because for what I got, this guy took really good care of it. He said he barely used it, so I got a good deal. And yeah, I'm going to turn this amp back on, play a couple more riffs for you, and show you how it sounds open back. So this is open back in drop C tuning. To max, turn the gain down a little bit, bring back, maybe raise a little mid. Exactly gives you guys much to go with. Again, this is my first ever review video. I'm still learning all the ins and outs of this amp myself, but let me know what you guys think, and definitely check out my cover of Help by Papa Roach. with this amp, and any of my additional questions earlier on about getting a good classic rock tone, anything about boosting the gain to make it ring out more, or your experience with the direct mic interface, let me know your experience so I can better my experience with the Peavey 6505 mini head. But overall, I'm very happy with it. Last thing I'm going to say before I end this video is the most ideal would be to try out any amp before buying. This wasn't the case because there was no Peaveys in my local music stores. They just weren't in stock. So I did take a chance at buying it, but ensuring that there's a return policy, so if it's something that you're not happy with, you can bring it back. But know your budget, know what you're looking for, always ask around. And if you're still on the search, or maybe you've bought a Peavey 6505 mini head, I hope you're happy with it. Or if you're still on the search, like I said before, do your research. Until next time, keep rocking and peace.